Rodeo Drive. It's one of the most famous streets in the world for being the intersection of luxury, fashion, and entertainment. It is a vibrant 2-mile street in Beverly Hills lined with palm trees and exorbitantly expensive stores and restaurants. When people refer to Rodeo Drive, they're typically referring not just to the street itself, but the surrounding 3-block neighborhood between Wilshire and Santa Monica Boulevard. It is home to high fashion, sleek architecture, gaudy window displays, and frequent celebrity pop-ins. It is Los Angeles' response to New York's Fifth Avenue. Balenciaga, Fendi, Jimmy Choo, Versace, and all the other fancy brands that people brag about can be found here. I should preface that I'm probably the last person on earth who has any authority concerning high fashion and have a strong aversion to spending money unnecessarily, so this will likely come across as biased, but I'll try my best to come from an objective point of view. Regardless, I was on a walk through Beverly Hills the other day and was curious about how Rodeo Drive became what it is today. Beverly Hills was a treeless desert until the 20th century. However, the foothills of Beverly Hills were one of the few places in Los Angeles that accumulated water, being at the base of Coldwater, Franklin, and Benedict Canyon. The Tongva, or Gabrielinos, considered it a sacred site, known as the Gathering of the Waters, or El Rodeo de los Aguas. Beverly Hills itself is known for its luxurious homes and fancy boutiques, a disparate picture from much of the rest of Los Angeles. Houses that loom large across the pristine landscaping of front yards. Front doors made of oak, mahogany, and other fancy lumber tucked between giant pillars. Houses so tall they cast shadows across the street. Like much of the rest of West LA and Culver City, Beverly Hills was designed as an all-white, planned community in the early 20th century. In 1912, the Beverly Hills Hotel was built, making it one of the oldest pieces of architecture in the area. In 1919, two prominent figures in the movie industry, Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford, built a mansion on Summit Drive and started the trend of prominent movie stars building mansions in the newly incorporated city. Down in the flatlands, people began to realize that this Beverly Hills place was a good spot to get rich. Rodeo Drive was initially a horse path in 1912, and parcels of land were being sold for $1,100 each. About a decade later, those same plots of land were going for up to $30,000. The Haggard Building on Santa Monica Boulevard was constructed in 1924, and at the time was the tallest building in downtown Beverly Hills. Honorary mayor and all-around good guy, Will Rogers kept an office there, along with Charlie Chaplin and later Ray Bradbury and Jack Nicholson. Legend has it that Beverly Hills Cop was written in Suite 303. The Beverly Wilshire Hotel on Wilshire and Rodeo Drive was completed in 1928 on the plot of land that was once Beverly Hills Speedway. The Beverly Wilshire has been home to John Lennon, F. Scott Fitzgerald, and Elvis Presley, just to name a few. Less than a mile north, Beverly Hills City Hall was completed in 1932, a Spanish Revival-style building, I guess, because of the dome. Richard Carroll opened Carroll & Company in West LA, a bougie suits and hat store, but caught wind of what was happening on Rodeo and moved his storefront to Rodeo Drive and South Santa Monica Boulevard in 1949 when there was little else besides a gas station and hardware store. By 1950, the street was gaining some prestige, and Frank Lloyd Wright designed the Anderson Court Shops in 1952 with an $80,000 budget, which would be the only retail structure he designed in his lifetime. In 1958, real estate developer and rich guy Marvin Crater bought 48,000 square feet of land across the street from the Beverly Wilshire. Fred Hayman, however, is given the honorary title of the godfather of Rodeo Drive, because while working at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, he opened the first luxury boutique on Rodeo Drive, Giorgio Beverly Hills at 273 Rodeo Drive. Hayman is known for helping the area become the fashionable location it is today. In 1972, Hayman launched the Rodeo Drive Committee to upscale the street. Hayman became the street's ambassador. His goal was to create a magnet for starlets and socialites, like an American Chez Élysée in Paris. Hayman made sure to invite every notable guest at the Beverly Hilton to his storefront to create an aura of wealth and celebrity. The store closed in 1998, but today there is a street named after him where his store once stood. Down the road, Bijan Pagzad purchased a parking lot that he turned into what he called the most expensive boutique in the world. He was confident his business in LA would take off because I saw brilliant men earning $100,000 a year dressed in the most ridiculous clothes. By 1980, Beverly Hills estimated that the Rodeo Drive shopping district accounted for as much as 25% of its sales tax revenues. Rodeo has become synonymous with luxury and design. Or as somebody on TripAdvisor commented, Rodeo Drive is just a bougie and pretentious shopping district where people go solely to swagger and make a spectacle of themselves grooming in sleek cars. Additionally, a New Yorker writer said, Los Angeles is the transparent society, Well, the New Yorker is biased, but I tend to agree with what the TripAdvisor commenter wrote. Almost every website about Rodeo Drive that I used to research this video has some mention of 1990s Pretty Woman having a shopping spree on Rodeo Drive, so shout out to Pretty Woman, I guess. In 2003, the city poured $18 million into the street, thinking they'd make that back on tourist tax dollars by the end of the first fiscal quarter. They replaced the ficus trees with palm trees because palm trees represent SoCal culture. They also widened the sidewalks, which is a great move because most people on the sidewalk do not walk with any sense of urgency. There's a walk of style that honors fashion industry icons and innovators with bronze plaques and an interesting statue named Torso at Dayton and Rodeo designed by artist Robert Graham. It's 14 feet tall and made from solid aluminum blocks, mounted on a bronze pedestal. There is also an Instagram-friendly little mall with fountains, Corinthian columns, Spanish steps, and wrought iron street lamps. Further south is the Life is Beautiful sculpture designed by Banksy's affiliate, Mr. Brainwash. Mr. Brainwash also has a cool-looking museum on Beverly Boulevard that I'm too cheap to pay to go into, but if you're into postmodern art and getting Instagram pictures, then I'd recommend it. Beverly Hills Historical Society's website has a great self-guided walking tour along Rodeo Drive. It has you starting at the 40-foot-long Lily Pond and the Beverly Hills sign, which was replaced in 2014. The sign and pond were installed to entice homebuyers because the city didn't have any trees or houses yet. But when potential residents arrived at the train station across the street, the Lily Pond greeted them. Nowadays, it's crowded with joggers, tourists, and strollers, but it's a great place to go for a walk in the bustling city. The walking tour also has you stopping along the Wallace Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts, which used to be the site of the Beverly Hills Post Office, but is now home to a theater complex and hosts the Vanity Fair Oscar party. There are several other stops along the way, but I'll save those for another video. Chanel recently opened a multi-story emporium on Rodeo Drive, its largest store in the United States. Overall, Rodeo Drive is a very unique place and a great walking neighborhood. The entire neighborhood smells like expensive fragrances, which would make Fred Hayman proud, because he's the one who thought of putting fragrance strips inside of magazines. Rodeo is certainly worth seeing, especially if you're on the west side and okay with getting judgmental looks from people based on your attire. However, unless you're willing to drop over $100 on a lunchtime snack, I recommend heading to one of the surrounding neighborhoods of Beverly Grove, Westwood, or Pico Robertson for a bite to eat.